put up 13 runs and lose, but hey, if they put up 13 runs against any other team that day, they would have won, and they would have gone into extra innings against the Orioles. And then today, they put up 8 runs, which would have beat most teams too. But it's just kind of crazy to see how much scoring there was. It did help that the fences were 380 to center field. High school fields are about that distance a lot of the time, so really short fields to be seeing in the MLB. But hey, whatever you got to do to get people more interested. So we're going to move it into the All-Star Game lineups and the starters. The Diamondbacks have 2 representatives. In my opinion, they should have 4. But they have Ketel Marte and Zach Greinke in the starting lineups for... Not starting. I think Greinke should be starting, though. But Ketel Marte is for sure starting. Zach Greinke is an All-Star, though. 6th All-Star appearance for him, first for Ketel. They should have, in my opinion, Peralta is deserving of it. He's our face of our franchise, and he's been doing really well. He did get hurt and get slowed down a bit, but still. And Eduardo Escobar, not looking into a lot of advanced stats. He is an all-star, in my opinion. He's top 3, top 2 in a lot of stats. And I don't see any reason he didn't make it other than the fact that he is a Diamondback. I'm just going to mention all of the MLB, the entire NL roster. So Sandy Alcantara is the Miami Marlins representative. He is a right-handed pitcher. It's his first appearance. Walker Buehler is his first appearance too out of the Dodgers. Luis Castillo, his first appearance for the Reds. I think he is the only. He's the only one I think for him, but he's the only Reds person. And then moving into the ones, a few pitchers that have had multiple, with Jacob deGrom out of the Mets with 3, Zach Greinke, the best pitcher in the league, with 6th, and Josh Hader with his 2nd. Clayton Kershaw also with his 8th appearance, left-handed pitcher. 3 pitchers out of the Dodgers. Lots of pitchers out of the NL West, too. Every team has a representative for pitching-wise out of the NL West for the pitching, for that. Except for the Rockies. A lot of people expected Kyle Freeland to be in the Cy Young talking, and definitely being an all-star, not being stuck in the minor leagues. Hyun-Jin Ryu, Max Scherzer, Will Smith, Mike Soroka, and Kirby Yates are also the other people that are the other representatives. I'm pretty sure there's only 3 of them that are closers or relief pitchers, and Kirby Yates, Will Smith, and Josh Hader. Catchers, our starter is Wilson Contreras from the Cubs. Yasmani Grandal and JT Realmuto are also there. All of them are in their second appearances. They all deserve to be in their spots. They're all all-stars, and Contreras should definitely be starting. Freddie Freeman with his 4th all-star appearance, and then Pete Alonso and Josh Bell are the reserves. In my opinion, both Alonso and Bell are more deserving of starting. I feel like Bell should definitely be starting. I don't know why he isn't. Probably because Freddie Freeman has more name recognition. But Josh Bell, good thing he is an all-star because he's definitely deserving of it. And then at second base, there's only 2 all-stars, and Ketel Marte and Mike Moustakas. It is Ketel's first appearance, and then it is Mike Moustakas' 3rd appearance for I think he has 1 at the Brewers and then 2 at the Royals, but I could be mistaken. Ketel Marte is such a strong player. If he didn't start, he'd be in the All-Star game no matter what. Definitely deserving of it. And then Javier Baez is the starter at shortstop. His second appearance, and then Story's second appearance, and DeJong's second appearance at shortstop. All of them are very deserving of their spots. I think Baez should definitely be starting. And then third base, Nolan Arenado with 5 appearances, Chris Bryant with his third in 4 years, and then Anthony Rendon with his first. Kind of surprises me that I don't really know how that's his first, but however, it's very it's good for him with getting his first. And player elected picks. So some of the player elected picks, let's see. JT Realmuto was player elected. Josh Bell was player elected. Moustakas was player elected. Story, Rendon, they were all player elected too. And then all of the reserves in the outfield, Charlie Blackmon, David Dahl, and Jeff McNeil, all player picked. But so 6 outfielders for the NL team. Christian Yelich and Cody Bellinger, both with their second appearances. And then the first of likely many in Acuna, who is starting. Outfield's going to be great. This game's going to be good. There's a lot of star players playing in it. Of course, it's an all-star game, but it's still pretty impressive. And then Charlie Blackmon with his 4th appearance as a reserve. And then David Dahl and Jeff McNeil with their first appearances. Moving into the AL team, I'm just gonna do the pitcher and then take a short break. But so we have Chapman, Cole, Giolito, Shane Green, Brad Hand, John Means, Mike Minor, Charlie Morton, Jake Odorizzi, Ryan Presley, Marcus Stroman, Justin Verlander, and those are all the pitchers. So Houston has 3 pitching representatives, and then a lot of teams have their only representatives as pitchers. There would probably be more players from teams if they weren't guaranteed an election, but Shane Green probably deserves it. He is a .87 ERA, which is definitely good in 30 innings pitched, in more than 30 innings, 24 saves, and then a .84 whip. Lucas Giolito, the White Sox pitcher, their White Sox representative, and a .944 ERA in an 8-game stretch from May 7th to June 14 is definitely an impressive stat to boast. And then Chapman, Cole, Brad Hand, and Justin Verlander, all with multiple appearances. However, a lot of new players, Stroman, Presley, Odorizzi, Morton, Minor, Means, and Shane Green, Shane Green and Giolito, all with their first appearances. It's always great to see variety getting into the All-Star game and lots of new players, because some of these players you haven't heard of, even though they might not exactly deserve it, the just being there, you might see them and be like, oh, they're a player you want to watch out for, and you don't want to see playing against your team. So I'm just going to take a quick break to get something to drink, and then I'll be right back in a few seconds. Okay, so I'm back, and I'm going to be moving into the rest of the AL roster. So our catchers, there's only 2 catchers in the AL. Gary Sanchez as the starter, James McCann as the reserve. And honestly, I wish they would just show stats when they're voting, because if they showed stats, Gary Sanchez would be the reserve. Gary Sanchez might not even be in. He should be in, but James McCann, should be starting this game. However, he is only reserve. Hopefully he can get some playing time and get some recognition in this game. McCann is hitting .317 and is the best hitting catcher of any best hitting average-wise of any catcher in the entire league. He's also the only qualified batter with 100 plate appearances who's hitting over 300. So not only is he the only one hitting over 300, he's the only one hitting 17. He's even hitting 17 points over 300. And then at first base, Carlos Santana, Daniel Vogelbach, and Jose Abreu are all the representatives. Carlos Santana is the starter, and then Daniel Vogelbach and Jose Abreu are the reserves. I'm having trouble thinking of the word for it, but DJ LeMahieu is the starter for second baseman, and Tommy La Stella is the reserve. If you could have two starters at one position, I definitely think this would be the position that you would do it. Tommy La Stella is a super strong player this year. He's definitely breaking out. This is his first All-Star appearance, and DJ LeMahieu, you cannot deny what he's been doing. It's very impressive how he moves from a hitter's park and still does very well. And then, so still got to move into a few more positions, shortstop, third, and then outfield. And then we're going to be moving into some more Diamondbacks-related discussion. Our shortstops, Jorge Polanco is the starter, his first appearance, and then Francisco Lindor. Polanco is the first twin shortstop to start an All-Star game since 1979. They've only had 3 in their history, and Lindor is going to be able to play in front of his home crowd, and that's going to be pretty cool to watch, as he is a reserve, but he's still there. And then there's 2 third basemen, and Alex Bregman and Matt Chapman. The second one for Bregman and the first for Chapman. Chapman is a great third baseman. He's good defensively. He's good both sides of the ball on the plate, at the plate and defensively. So is Bregman, but I think Chapman has the edge defensive wise. Bregman has it offensive wise. Bregman did win the MVP in the All-Star game last season. Only one other player in history, the best player ever, has won back-to-back All-Star MVPs, and that's Mike Trout. But he could definitely do it. He's definitely a great player, and he's capable. Mike Trout is the starter. He's always going to be a starter, and until he retires, and who knows how long. He could probably play it forever if he wanted to. George Springer and Michael Brantley, 2 Houston outfielders as starters. All the starters have played in All-Star games before. I definitely don't understand why Mookie Betts is an All-Star. I mean, I could see it, but I feel like he shouldn't have been so close to being voted a starter. And then Joey Gallo, Austin Meadows, and Whit Merrifield are all their first-timers. I definitely feel like Gallo should be starting over either Springer or Brantley, and I don't think you can deny that Trout should be a starter. And then one more position that you need to take into account for the AL is the designated hitter. Hunter Pence from the Texas Rangers is the DH. His 4th All-Star appearance. However, he is injured, but if he comes back, he will be the starter. And then JD Martinez, the former Diamondback and slugger, with the his third ever All-Star appearance. And then currently there's a very few of the home run derby hitters have been announced, and just going to mention those real quick. Carlos Santana, Vlad Guerrero, Christian Yelich, Pete Alonso, and Josh Bell. Josh Bell is definitely, he could definitely have a chance to win. Everyone here has a chance to win.